quick announcement. Councilwoman Porterfield is about to place a food order. So if you've gotten hungry, see Councilwoman Porterfield. We're going to move on to the Codes Administration hearing, and you will find their portion of the budget on page 317. I'm looking at the budget book. It's the little code at the bottom says G33-1, but it's page 317. And up at the front, we have Director Bill Herbert, and with him is Assistant Director Emily Lamb, as well as Alicia Veravu, who's the Finance Manager. And Director Herbert, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Budget and Finance Committee, pleasure to be here this afternoon. I'm Bill Herbert. I'm the Director of the Codes Department, and like Madam Chair said, on this side I have Alicia Veravuth. She is our Finance Manager. On this side I have Assistant Director Emily Lamb with me. I'd also like to recognize my staff that is in the back that makes the Codes Department run. I've got Deputy Director Wade Hill in the back. Wade, if you'd raise your hand. I've got Assistant Director over the Building Division, Byron Hall. Byron. I have got the Assistant Director over our Property Standards Division, Mr. Bill Penn. I'm also pleased to announce the Interim Zoning Administrator, and that's Joey Hargis. Joey. Also pleased to announce our Interim Assistant Director over Development Services, and that is Brady Rich. Thank you all. I'd also like to thank Kristen Wilson and Kevin Crumbo. We certainly appreciate the support of the Mayor's Office and the Finance Department. I'd be remiss to not thank our entire staff who work tirelessly to keep Nashville buildings safe. Our employees provide essential services, so therefore we have been in the office since day one through the pandemic. This year, we've responded to nearly 14,000 hub requests and inquiries regarding zoning issues and trade complaints, building and short-term rental requests, and property violations. That's in excess of 1,100 per month. After the March 2020 tornado, our inspectors inspected every tornado-damaged property in accordance with FEMA guidelines within 3 days. That's over 2,200 properties in 3 days. Our inspectors worked some very long hours. Since the recent flood event in March of this year, our building inspectors have inspected 581 flood-damaged properties, and that is in addition to their daily scheduled building inspections. On December the 30th, the Codes Department assumed control over the blast scene on 2nd Avenue. We took on a new role, and that was to address the stabilization of buildings that were affected by the blast. While we're still on the road to recovery, I'm proud to say that we've met our goals in protecting nearby properties, preserving historical features of certain buildings, and expediting the stabilization permits to contractors, while all the time keeping residents and the construction personnel safe. We couldn't have achieved these goals without vital collaboration with other departments, specifically the Mayor's Office, Fire Department and OEM, Police, Public Works, the Planning Department, the Historical Commission, the Downtown Partnership, the Urban Land Institute, Civic Design Center, Historic Nashville, Inc., but certainly not last but not least, Ron Gobble and Gobble Hayes Partners. Our mission statement is contained within your budget book, but in short, here's what we do. We issue construction and use-related permits and perform safety-related inspections. More specifically, we administer and enforce Title 16 of the Metropolitan Code related to buildings, construction, and exterior property areas. We also administer and enforce Title 17 of the Metropolitan Code, which is the zoning code. This governs the use of property as well as the size, the height, and location of buildings. With the challenges faced this year and last, we managed to find some silver linings and some opportunities. From the pandemic and with the need to maintain social distancing, we were able to implement previously approved processes to allow permit applications to be made remotely and allow most permits to be issued and paid for remotely. While the transition was immediate and seamless, I don't want to imply that it has been without problems. The lack of face-to-face interaction between zoning examiners and contractors has made simple things like reviewing a site plan complicated, difficult, and slow. This has created a backlog that the recommended budget will hopefully address. We are continuing to modify our processes and have since added customizations to CityWorks and the e-permit system so that our customers will be able to pay for both landlord registrations and short-term rentals online. A special thanks goes out to Keith Durbin and Amy Neal with ITS, because without their support, there's no way we could have made this happen. Now for our current fiscal year, I'd like to provide some projections as to how this department will finish out this year, FY21. On the expense side, we expect to come in under budget at year end. We will again achieve savings, even while faced with several unexpected expenses incurred due to this year's emergency events. On the revenue side, year to date, we've collected over $27 million. This exceeds expenses year to date by over $17 million. We anticipate revenue collections of over $31 million by year end. This is nearly $15 million over our FY21 annual revenue projection. Last March, we increased building permit revenue by approximately 8% by adopting the latest cost construction values established by the International Code Council. From this update, we expected an increase in revenue of $640,000, but to date, it has already increased over $1.3 million. For FY21, we project that we will issue approximately 12,800 building permits, which is more than either FY20 or FY19. We further project that the value of those permits, the construction value, through the end of this fiscal year will be the highest ever in the history of the Metropolitan government, exceeding $5.2 billion. For reference, FY20, the construction value came in at $4.6 billion, and FY19 came in at $4.5 billion. Since 2000, the size of the department has remained relatively unchanged. In 2000, we had 107 full-time employees. Today, we have 118 full-time employees. At the same time, the value of Nashville's construction growth has skyrocketed from $1.3 billion to over $5.2 billion. In short, the value of construction growth has increased by 285% in 20 years. The codes department at the same time has grown by only 10%. A consultant study done in 2018 recommended 6.5 property standards inspectors for every 100,000 citizens. Nashville now has over 700,000 citizens, and that would come out to about 45 inspectors. We currently have 22. FY22 recommendation of one property standards inspector puts us at the halfway mark. Over $1 million is recommended for our budget in FY22, and that we are thankful. All of this is to say that we are truly grateful for the 10 recommended positions in this upcoming budget. The FY22 recommendations are essential and will help us execute and expand delivery of our core functions for the improvement of our neighborhoods and our community. Another recommendation to highlight is the short-term rental compliance and enforcement software contract funding. Nashville has the highest compliance rate in the United States of any city our size. Our compliance rate hovers at about 95%. Today, it was at 93.5%. We monitor these metrics almost daily. I'm pleased to announce just a few weeks ago, Nashville and Davidson County won the 2021 Granicus Digital Government Award in the short-term rental compliance category. The short-term rental compliance and enforcement software that we use is critical to maintaining this level of enforcement. Along with additional positions and the short-term rental contract funding for the continuation of our vehicle rental pilot program is also included in our request for FY22. This program has been instrumental in reducing inspection turnaround times to virtually next-day service across the board. Time is money, and the vehicle rental has drastically reduced the downtime and allowed our inspectors to put an additional 2,600 hours per month in the field. A consultant recently shared with us that this time that was been saved is equivalent to 14 full-time employees. That's really very incredible. I want to point out that while the vehicle rentals are imperative in keeping turnaround times low for customers, they don't lessen the need for staff. Although the rentals speed up work tremendously, they don't stop it. It's no secret that Nashville's construction is booming. The need for what this department does is ever present, ever growing, and new projects are always coming down the pike. With that, we're happy to take any questions, and I thank you very much.
Councilman Nash.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. As a person that suffered from the flood of March 28th, I want to thank you for all the work you're doing. It's important. It's a process, and you're a big help. I also want to say, as a new council member this past year, boy, if I had a question, I've always been able to get an answer from somebody, and that's much appreciated. And I can't stop before I mention that you left one very important person off the list when you were introducing the important people in your team. And Corrine West, I'm going to resign my position if she should retire before I'm done.
I keep trying to keep her from retiring. I've been successful so far, but I don't know how long it's going to last. But thank you very much,
You're
Councilman.
welcome.
Councilwoman Bircher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was getting my Jimmy John's order back here. Bill and team, all of you, you do a phenomenal job, and I know some years we've been working as a council to make sure you guys get the resources that you need. And I just want to publicly also thank Corrine too, and for those council members that haven't been fortunate enough to deal with her. She answers emails all times of the night. I mean, she is very constituent driven, and that just speaks to the new leadership. Not that she's just starting to do it. She did it before you too, Bill, but it just speaks to the new leadership of the codes department. My question is this: with market trends as it relates to residential character, and with the new market scope as it relates to neighborhoods now, for long-term rentals, I know we have a process whereas a landlord, I should register, but oftentimes they either do not register or they don't know to register. And I know that is very taxing on the property standards division when they're trying to enforce those calls for service as it relates to being in non-compliant for property standards. For example, and I'm just using this because I know many are watching this segment for codes. Oftentimes, a resident is cited for a violation, and they are not the actual homeowner. So it's challenging for us sometimes we have to research, find who the actual landlord is. And again, that's very time consuming. It adds to inefficiency to the process and adds to frustration to the communities. So in the vein of we're being compliant as it relates on that short-term rental side, would it be feasible for us to model the practice that we're doing on the short-term rental side and incorporate that on the long-term rental side, so that we don't have some of the issues that remain as it relates to long-term rentals. And I say that because of the market dynamics that's happening now with outside investors coming in and just solely purchasing real estate stock for the intent of just those properties being rental properties. We're gonna have this dynamic on. It's gonna be more amplified now because what they're buying up is much larger parcels. So if we can do that, Director, and I don't know if it's feasible, but I believe it can be, and I believe in Metro government. We can do anything when we really put our minds to it. What costs would that what you need to help with that? I know it'll be some collaboration with Keith over in IT, but as it relates to a personnel cost, and not talking about the one that those personnel that the mayor proposed in his budget, I'm speaking specifically of additional personnel. And I state that now because we've changed the budgetary process, so it would have been nice for us to have been able to have this dialogue before now. In the past, we would have had a mayoral budget hearing, so you would have gotten this information before. So I know I may be catching you off guard with it, but it's not by design. It's just we changed the budgetary process, so you're getting this question now. And if you can advise us what you would need to implement that, if you've considered that, and just throw out some costs as we deliberate a substitute budget. Thank you, Director. Thanks to the Codes Department. And I'm going to sit down because I can tell you one thing. You've made this council member right here look really good. You've made this council member, District 28, be recognized as one of the fastest improving districts in the city. You've really made me look good. So I really want to thank you guys and gals for that. Thank you, Director.
Thank you, Councilmember. Really appreciate those kind words. We have actually been, and Bill Penn and I have been looking into a little bit on researching long-term rentals and how we can do a little bit better job with that. I think that Assistant Director Penn has talked to a third-party entity about that would do that type of research for us, not unlike the short-term rental stuff. So thank you very much for that, and we will continue to look into that. Appreciate it.
Councilwoman Gamble, and then Councilman Druffel.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you all from the Clothes Department. I just want to reiterate Councilwoman Burchard's comments. You all have done a phenomenal job. Thank you so much for all that you do. When I hear the numbers of 14,000 hub requests for codes, I know I've put in many of those myself and my constituents as well. And as the community is beginning to learn about the hub and understand it more, I suspect that you'll get even more requests. And I noticed in your 10 FTEs that you have 2 for property standards. Are most of your hub requests regarding property standards, and how will those 2 FTEs help in that matter? I know you all need more, and I wish we could give you more. I appreciate your budget request of 10, but can you talk about how the FTE additions will help in serving some of those hub requests particularly?
Sure. Thank you very much, Council Member. We have about 22 property standards inspectors, and the overwhelming majority of hub requests that come into the department do go to the property standards division. Get a few to the building division, but the overwhelming majority is property standards. So having 2 additional inspectors, that helps. Every bit helps. Could we use more? Absolutely. But In our 10 positions that we're asking for, we've tried to identify bottlenecked areas and tried to put key personnel into key positions that can have the greatest impact. Hence the positions that we're asking for, but yes, thank you. Those will be property standards inspectors.
Councilman Druffel, did you have a question? And then I'll.
Yeah, and ditto for all you do. I'm my first term, and everybody thinks I'm quickest when it comes to code. So I don't know what you do, but I appreciate it. The question I had is on program and non-program revenue. Now, help me. We went from 27 million in 20 down to 16,842,000 this year budget, and we're going back to 25,833,000 next year. So obviously there's something in there that's different. What was the change that we dropped this year so much, $8 million?
I'm going to have to let our finance person here, Alicia Verabooth, answer that for you.
So the reduction was basically from COVID. So we had a much higher revenue projection in FY21, and that was reduced. I think several other departments were reduced as well, but COVID is my answer. That's why the revenue was reduced.
Okay, so you budgeted last year anticipating COVID. That's why you got the lower budgeted revenue.
Well, our original projection was like 25 million.
Right.
But that was administratively reduced to the 16.8.
Okay, okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
Now, you did 27 million in 20, and you're 26 million and change this next year.
We plan to finish out, I'm thinking 30 million, at least 30 million by the end of this year.
Okay, so the question becomes, could you have more inspectors, property inspectors, if you even if you take half of that, could you not just add some inspectors because you're at 22 and you need more? I'm trying to ask, there's a value of taking some of that and reapportioning some of that revenue so that you could get a couple more.
Well, we can't add any more because that's our revenue budget. Our expense budget is different, so we have to stick to that.
Yeah, I recognize that, but I didn't know if the mayor's office would, since net-wise.
We would certainly take the positions, but that's up to
anyhow,
them.
it's just a thought. I mean, you obviously are a guy, you're performing at a very high level. If there's a chance, and I just come from a private background in our budget, so I don't always get the subtleties here. But we've mentioned this also, what we saw in parks and in some other places is understating the revenue when we still need some labor that would help us perform even better. And so my thought is, if you could do it, there's probably a value. Thank you.
And Ms. Verabooth, for the surplus that you anticipate having, or anytime you have a surplus, does that go back into the general fund, or is that money that your department keeps?
It does go back into the general fund.
Okay. And so what's the cost of the 10 positions that you asked for and that's in the mayor's proposed budget?
Let's see. The 10 positions are a little over, I think they're $600,000.
So to pay the folks who will fill those 10 positions, it's going to be $600,000? Okay. So I think that's what Councilman Druffel was kind of getting at. If you're going to have this large surplus, can some of that surplus be used to fund additional positions, but they don't keep their surplus?
No,
it goes back into the general fund.
For an enterprise fund, that would be the case, but we are general fund, so any excess revenue we collect goes back to the general fund.
No, it seems like a legitimate case to
Sure.
support what you're doing because
yes.
it just brings back more.
It does,
So the
yeah.
reality is, maybe you're not an enterprise fund, but as a city, there's a value to it.
I agree.
So anyhow.
We agree.
So council members, we are approaching time. I am scanning the room for, there we go. Councilwoman Porterfield?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have a question. I just wanted to express a very quick thank you to Mr. Penn and to the department. Councilmember Vercher mentioned Karen West, who's awesome. Also, Monica Bishop. Anytime I've had any concerns with any type of codes issue or violation or property standard, just the turnaround time of getting information has just been phenomenal, and that is something that our community really appreciates. Many times communities feel overlooked, so when we reach out as a council member to ask these questions and we're getting information back so quickly, it is very much appreciated. And I think that the additional positions for individuals to help with property standards is something that the community will also appreciate. And I guess that kind of did evolve into a question. Is there anything that we could do to help support with the enforcement? That's a question that I get a lot. I know that there's a really long turnaround time. I know that there has to be due process. Individuals have to be notified of violations. They have to have the opportunity to go through environmental court and things of that nature. But the community oftentimes has questions about how can we, either as a council or as Metro government, help to enforce the codes process so that some of those things maybe can move on a little more quickly.
That's really a great question, and we've been looking to see what we can do to try to expedite the processes. Here's the problem. The problem is due process of law. And so when a violation is found, we have to provide people written notice. We have to give them a reasonable amount of time in which to correct the violation before we can go to a warrant. If the judge were to find the time to be unreasonable, too short, then we'd have to start all over again. Further waste of time. So by the time we get to a warrant, it has to be served by the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department sets the court date, and it is set on the court's docket, and we appear on that date. All of that takes time, but that is our fundamental due process, and that's what we have to do. We're always looking for ways to do it better and more quickly, but we have to comply with due process of law.
Okay, I've got Councilwoman Allen, then Councilman Taylor, then Councilwoman Vercher.
I'll be quick. I'll say, in addition to neighbors appreciating how quickly y'all respond, I've had contractors say it's amazing how efficient the process is, especially in the given circumstances. So kudos to y'all for being streamlined. I think that's really great. One quick question. We've talked about this bill as I was working through my dark skies legislation. There are a number of different things that have come up now that require someone who can be in an inspection role, not necessarily between the hours of 8 and 5, Monday through Friday. And does this budget, with its increase in inspectors, have the possibility of just one person who, on an occasional basis, can be dedicated to those off-hour inspections?
The short answer is yes. But we've kind of been doing that all along. So when we have things that are occurring at night or off hours, Director Penn has done a really good job of making sure that there's personnel that we address those after-hour situations.
Great, thank you. I think that's a growing need, so I'm glad that's in there. Thank you.
Yes.
Councilman Taylor.
Thank you, Chair. Not on the Budget and Finance Committee. Mr. Herbert, thank you so much for the time you spend in my community working with me. Mr. Penn, you as well. I want to circle back to property standards from Councilmember Gamble and Councilmember Porterfield. Of course, that's the highest pub request or any request that you all receive in your office. Is the increase for 2 individuals full-time, is that substantial? Is that what you need? Or when you say you need more, how many more?
That's a very difficult question. It's a good question, very difficult question. With each additional that we get, we can improve our level of service. So it becomes a question of what level of service is acceptable. The more inspectors we have, our quicker the turnaround time, the better level of service that we can provide. Do we need more property standards inspectors? Absolutely. Do we need more people within the department to perform other functions like zoning examiners? Absolutely. We try to be reasonable in what we're asking for, but if the question is, could you use more people, the answer is yes.
And a follow-up is, of course, you guys hear from me probably a little bit more than most, but and you're right. It's a problem. You know, when we get requests, you guys funnel them through, work on them, they're responded to, but typically not in enough time for constituents, right? And so how can we increase that time just to help us better serve our constituents when they do have those requests?
I will say this, our vehicle rental program has taken our inspection times down to virtually next day service across the board. That's really important, where if a request comes in today, more than likely the inspector is going to be on the property tomorrow. Before our rental car program, that did not exist. It could be a week or longer because of staff constraints. We've addressed it that way. We are looking at any way possible to increase our level of service. IT, Keith Durbin has given us lots of gadgets and widgets to help us be more efficient, and we've utilized those all through COVID. There almost comes a time when the answer just becomes, do you need some additional staff? You've expedited every process that you can think to expedite, and we may be at that juncture.
Councilwoman Vercher.
Thank you, Chair. Director, do we still have the codes offender school? Or what happened with that?
I'm going to kick that over to Assistant Director Lamb.
Okay.
We do still have that. I don't know that it's been meeting during COVID, but we do still have that as a tool in the toolbox when we go to environmental court. And Bill Penn manages that and tracks that, but that's something that if the judge orders that they go to codes offender school, and that's typically something that we'll ask for with repeat offenders, which we see a fair number of in environmental court. But that is something that still exists. And again, as I said, I don't think we've been using it during COVID, but it is a tool that remains and that we will use as things open back up more.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Lamb. You're great. You're great also. I just want to state too, Chair, publicly, as it relates to, and specifically in that property standards space, I'm not talking about the building inspectors, the trade inspectors, and so forth. I'm talking specifically the property standards space. In 2017, this body went on record and we filed a resolution, 2017, requesting, and Mr. Penn, I know you may remember this, requesting not only for the codes department vacancies be filled, but add additional vacancies for the property standards division, because even then it was becoming more nuanced in the process. So I want my colleagues to be mindful of that when you're submitting your wish list items. And property standards, not saying that any other department isn't important, but property standards is so critical to the sustainability, to the viability, and to the attractability of our communities. As a district council member, I'm always honored to take individuals on a tour of not just my district, but of the southeast quadrant altogether. And it's also disheartening when the question comes up as it relates to the upkeep of properties. So I want to go back to what I suggested earlier about the long-term rentals, because I know what that percentage is for the southeast quadrant. if we can definitely work on that, because that's going to be an issue that's just going to continue to balloon and to become more taxing on your department director. But for my colleagues, this is a space, this is low-hanging fruit for us, where neighbors can feel the impact immediately. They can see the value in this immediately. This isn't something where we have to have a concept plan, get an approval for an easement, fight with AT&T, NES, who owns this pole, who owns that pole. This isn't that. This is something that our neighbors, many of them, want and request, because many of them, their homes, they've worked their entire lives to secure a home. So I know we have, for some of my colleagues, we at your resources, the Codes Offender School, and also Director Cooper, I can't remember, I don't know if I filed it under you or if I filed it under Mike Jameson, but our codes department, and this wasn't the solution because of their staffing, but the codes department also has a tool to assist them for habitual offenders. And I want to preface that with the caveat, and Bill, you can correct me, it has to be the exact same violation, okay? It has to be the exact same violation. So as a council member, that's a resource for you when you know you're getting those same calls for a property owner for the same property standard violation. You can contact the codes department and let them know that this is a habitual offender. I hate to use that term, offender. So that's another tool that you have in your toolbox. And I don't know where I was going with this, Madam Chair. I'm thinking about Jimmy John's. I got Jimmy John's on the brain. No, but in all seriousness, colleagues, you can tell I'm a second termer, right? In all seriousness, colleagues, this is really a space, and I don't know, Chair, I don't know if we're going to have working sessions or not, but this is really a space that I think we all could agree on. And just for the public that's watching, we're not suggesting anything to be punitive as it relates to this, but we do understand and we acknowledge that we do have some neighbors that's not as considerate as they should be. So I would love for us to not have to have a property standards division, but the reality of it is that we do. And I think more than, 2 FTEs, Brandon? I think this budget should reflect more than 2 property standards in addition to what was proposed by the mayor. I go back again, 2017, this legislative body was on record requesting not only for the vacancies to be filled, but to add additional property standards.
Thank you, Councilmember Bircher. Let me respond by saying I could not agree with you more. As you know, I was not the director in 2017. I've been an advocate, and I think our entire staff has been an advocate to have more positions. As soon as I became the director, the first thing that we did was fill all of our vacant positions and promote some people that desperately should have been promoted. So we've been acting very affirmatively since I've come into this position, and I can't agree with you anymore. Thank you.
Councilwoman Porterfield.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll be very brief. I want to follow up on Councilmember Allen's question, and I may have misunderstood it. When there are violations that are happening after work hours and on the weekends, are any of these new positions maybe going to have like some type of flex schedule or possibly just a evening, weekend schedule? I know that was happening in my district a while back where I'm not sure if it was a Airbnb, but someone was operating a party out of the home, and neighbors were calling me at midnight. There were security guards out there. Out of just a regular residential home, it was turned into a nightclub. And with no one working codes, that time of night, that becomes an issue. So with those new positions, are any of them going to be scheduled for either a flex schedule or a night and weekend schedule?
The short answer is that they're not scheduled specifically for nights or weekend. The longer answer, and I'll try to be brief, is all of our employees know that from time to time they will have to work on nights and on weekends. I myself, on Sundays, as many of you councilpersons know, are not reluctant to go out and issue stop work orders myself for people that are working on Sunday. Done it many times. So our electrical inspectors work on the weekends. Our property standards inspectors work on the weekends when there is something specific that needs to be addressed. And if nighttime enforcement becomes something that we need to do, we'll ramp up for it accordingly.
Councilwoman Henderson?
Thank you, Chair Toombs, and thank you, Director Herbert. We appreciate your leadership in code so much. I always enjoy your presentation because of all the statistics that you share, and I was glad to hear about the vehicle rental. I know my colleague Courtney Johnson here with the special committee and serving on codes, that was something that was advanced through the council, and I'm glad that that's really delivering for you all. My question is particular to urban forestry. And that position, well, rather two now, added a position, I think, 2 or 3 years ago in support of Mr. Kivett's work. But in development services, as we all know, there's a lot of kind of intersection between water and plans review and public works. And I've shared this with Director Potter. I'm a little concerned that kind of trees at that, single and two family development space kind of fall through the cracks a little bit. And so we can't have as many requirements in that space as we do in our commercial and multifamily requirements. So we have our, putting trees kind of back in subsequent to construction. But what I'm concerned about on site is often I don't see good kind of construction practice for existing mature trees with our tree protection fencing. Our building supplies, pallets of bricks parked on these things, trucks parked on those, and so forth. We're in a bit of an awkward space, as you know, because we can't necessarily require folks to retain that tree. So then when we're saying you're not protecting it correctly and kind of, the double-edged sword of all that. But I wonder, it seems that the added position in urban forestry is really just barely keeping up with plans review, particular to the landscape code, and maybe kind of reactively, on this site here, I've seen these trees die. Would you go back and inspect those? I know Ms. Hayes's group with, infill development, particular to stormwater and trees being a piece of that. I just wonder if kind of betwixt and between you all, and I know that you and Director Kemp and Director Potter have had some conversations about forestry, kind of tree-related things, but do you, and I just want to kind of ask, maybe subsequent to this, if I could have some of your time to just inquire or think about, I feel like Ms. Hayes's group, I know that's kind of in water, but I feel like they could use a few more people. I also feel like just as far as, doing right by big trees on construction lots, if we had somebody more particularly kind of, whether educationally with, the home building industry, and I've talked to some nonprofits about this, like this is how you maintain these trees, but kind of proactively, we just have so many homes that are built with really mature trees on a, R20 and up where there's room for those trees to stay, and then a year later, they're dead, and it's a 60, 70-foot tree. And so I just feel like if we brought more attention to that space or had some additional staffing, we could be more proactive in that regard. And I wonder if you feel like that position should be in codes. Is that on the water side with Ms. Hayes? Is in development services? Just if you have any brief thoughts about that, and then I could follow up with you after.
Okay, just very briefly. I think really practically where that should land would be within the stormwater division. And why I say that is very simple, is that they are responsible for issuing grading permits when you come out and start moving the dirt around. So which trees are going to stay and which are not. It all goes into the grading plan, the flow of water off of the site, how the site's engineered, and all of that. To me, logic would dictate that Stormwater Division could greatly use that service. And Scott, and Director Potter and I have actually spoken about that.
All right, we are at time. Thank you, Director Herbert, Ms. Lamb, Ms. Veramuth, for your time. And next up, we have General Services and Fleet Management. I'll give them a couple minutes to get up here.